Welcome to the Rick Helps Real Estate Show. Still trying to make sense of this crazy Arizona market. And today we're going to unpack a few things with regards to new construction. I have some new data from the Cromford Public Report that I can share with you. It's kind of interesting. And I want to start with what we're seeing right now when we're looking at new construction. And there's a comment here that says in January, across Maricopa and Pinal Counties, we saw 1,507 new homes closed. This is up almost 14% from January 2023. In contrast, normal MLS resales in the same territory numbered 2,950. This is not only down 5% from January last year, it's the lowest monthly total in the last 11 years. Wow. These numbers include single-family townhome condo property types. The numbers look even more extreme if we consider only Pinal County. We saw just 241 normal MLS resales in January 2024, down 19% from 299 in January of last year. New home sales are more numerous than resales in Pinal, with 341 in January and growing 21%. So the party is in new construction. And why is that? Well, more to choose from, and they're buying down the rate, my friends. You can see here we're at 7.08. The trend is negative for the day, so new home construction is the way to go for a lot of people. Now, trying to look at what's going on in our market, especially here in March. Now, those were January numbers that I shared with you, but not a lot's changed. In new listings, it is starting to flatten out a little bit, as I expect. It's up slightly, and we're up, well, about 300 homes this morning versus last Monday. That's kind of interesting. And if I look at my 7-day moving average, what we're seeing is the reason that active listings are not going up as fast as we think they would is because they're actually being purchased. You can see here the blue line is new listings, and it had a pretty big jump from Friday to today over the 7-day moving average, and contracts spiked up as well. But they did the same thing last year, so we're going to continue to watch that and see where it's going. But it's telling you that we're not seeing a spike in listings in our market. But again, if I go back to that chart, we usually don't. We see listings kind of decline, and except for there's just a couple abnormalities here in 2020. Hard to say if we can even look at 2020 anymore. And then, of course, this is when interest rates spiked last year, so it went way up, and that's what we're seeing. Here's new construction, my friends. Who are the big players? It's Lennar and D.R. Horton, followed up by Taylor Morrison, Ashton Woods, Pulte, Richmond American, and then some other over here. There's Meritage, Fulton, Madame. I see them a lot in the Chandler Gilbert area. So these are the players. But what's going on? Single family permits year to date. Now let's understand what single family permits are. Obviously, they're applying to build a home. Well, it takes about 18 months from the time that permit is granted to actually seeing completion of a home. Some cases even longer than that. You get the permit to build, you still got to put in the infrastructure. Got to put in the roads, water, power, then you build the house. So it doesn't happen in a New York minute. So it lags. So what do we see? So if we want to see what's selling now, we look at permits that were issued in 2023 year to date, and it's showing 1,102. Year to date today is 2,720. So this is comparing year to date, same day last year, year before. And in 2022, we saw 2,986. So let's go take a look here and say, well, what's selling? And here's what we see. 2023, we sold 1,324 year to date. Good morning, YouTube. And 2024, 1,507. So how many new permits were there in 2023? There were 1,102. That looks like they got gobbled up a little bit. There are so many different numbers on new permits as I dig into this that I'm not confident that I can glean a lot from this. Good morning, Mr. Pandemonium. Um, I'm I'm seeing new permits kind of dancing all over the place when it comes to the numbers. I can give you a couple of examples here. If I go to Cromford Public and take a look at new permits year to date, that number is enormous. New home closings by date range. Let's see. Let me show you something else here. Bear with me. I know you guys hang with me when I pull up charts. So here is down on the bottom. Here's where the new construction is. Single family permits rolling 12 months. That number jumps substantially. It gets up here and it's 26,000. But that's rolling 12-month average. So I was showing you year to date numbers on the other one. But they're selling. Now I'm going to have some more numbers to share with you from the forum that I went to on Friday. It was agriculture and appraisers. Sounded like it was going to maybe not be very exciting, but it turned out it was pretty good. If you like looking at data and seeing where the jobs are coming in Arizona, what's going on, where the expansion is, how farming is doing, where the farms are, and the water situation, this was quite the event. So I'm waiting for them to put the presentations that we saw on their website so that I can share some of it with you. And there was the amount of growth that's going out in the 303 is just simply staggering. So when I look at these new permits and I look at the number of sales that we're having, I'm not really worried that these new homes aren't going to move, because they are. And I don't see a glut. I don't see them having these fire sales and giving all these homes away. Based on everything that I saw. Now, predictions, you know, you can line every economist up from one end of the room to the other, and they won't come to a conclusion. So, who knows? But here's what we're seeing with the Cromford Market Index across the valley. Anything over 100 is considered a seller's market, and Chandler continues to lead the pack. And one of the reasons is they're not really competing with a lot of new construction. They're out of room when it comes to building new developments. It's all going either the far west valley or the far east valley. East Mark, Apache Junction. Gilbert's in the same situation. They've still got some room to build, but they seem to be building more and more multifamily apartment complexes. They're at 179. But if you're a buyer, there is some bargaining power to be held from Queen Creek to Buckeye. Look at Buckeye at 70.3. You're competing with new construction out there. So it really alters these numbers greatly. So you have 10 cities showing an increase in their Cromford Market Index over the past month, while 6 have deteriorated and 1 hasn't budged. The one that hasn't budged is Gilbert. So that's your market here. Now, I'm not going to read you that whole paragraph, but we all can see that, drive till you qualify seems to be where the new homes are going. And I saw some numbers for Casa Grande. Unbelievable what's going on down there. It's more than just the electric truck manufacturer down there. And I can't wait to get this data for you, get the presentations. If I get it, as soon as I get it, we'll go live. I'll put it out and we can take a peek at it. I'm seeing a pretty busy weekend. So there are areas when we say resales are slow, that's not the case everywhere. We've seen multiple offers on plenty of houses over the weekend. And but it's sporadic, and it depends on the price point. If you have listed and it's not moving, have a heart to heart with your heart, because it's price, and that's what's going on in our market. It's the buyers; they have more access to data now than they've ever had. A buyer can look up just about anything. Now, I saw an interesting thing the other day that one of the founders of Zillow, they've branched off and they're coming out with a new website that they think is going to compete with Zillow. And they said that this website will give you access to data such as how much the person owes on the house, what their job is, what their current mortgage payment is. And they said it'll give you more bargaining power. No, it won't. I mean, just because you know where the seller works and how much they owe, that doesn't give you any bargaining power. The bargaining power comes from whether or not there's multiple interest in the property. If there's no interest in the property, then yes, you have bargaining power. But there's a lot of people interested. The fact that they don't owe very much isn't going to tell you anything. Now, it may tell you that if they owe a lot, they don't have a lot of wiggle room as far as coming down. But I thought that premise in and of itself was kind of odd. So, but let them go for it. Let's see what kind of website they build. And just to let everybody know here too, coming up, I'm thinking next week, I've got a big major change I'm going to announce, and I'm going to have access to the Tucson market. I know I get a lot of requests for Tucson, and I have to shake my head and go, I ain't got nothing for you folks, but that's about to change. So hopefully I can keep you up to speed on more than just our Phoenix and part of Pinal County going forward. Until then, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you know when I add content. And by all means, don't forget to hit the like button, even if you don't like it. Thanks.